Here today, we're at this new Braunfels custom build single-story home with a bonus room upstairs. As you can see, we just finished framing. We're starting our rough-ins. We have plumbing going in. HVAC has run, and we started our blue box. We did our blue box walk with the client. So that's one thing we do at this stage, walk it with the homeowner, make sure everything's lined up kind of where they want it. So we can take a look at progress here. You can see what it looks like before walls, and then you can subscribe, follow along, see how it all comes together. But basically, inside, that's where we're at. Outside here, we started our lath paper for our stucco. That's what this black material with the meshes. That's your first coat up against the zip sheathing, and then our stucco is going to go on from there. But you can see it gets on. We have our brick mold on this door. This trim is brick mold. Is what it's called, so that stucco has something to dead into. We can go ahead and take a look inside and kind of see some of the progress. Here inside, you'll see, like we discussed, the framing's all in place. Still needs to be punched. We'll walk everything, make sure it's nice and tight. But here's going to be a fireplace. This is actually going to be an electrical insert, three-sided fireplace. So that's going to go here. We have marked our kind of mantle height, so the hearth is all going to be raised about 18 inches all the way to the wall, stone, and then we're going to go with that glass fireplace and then shiplap on top. So this is what it looks like now, kind of prepping for it. So you can definitely see what that looks like here in a few months. This stub out here is where our island's going to be. So you have your conduit for electrical, you have your plumbing drain, and then you have your water line. So that's all stuff that's in slab that's going to feed into the island. Again, nice ceiling treatments in this kitchen eating area. We furred down our cabinet area so the cabinets can run all the way up, butt up against the ceiling so it flows nice and smooth with everything. But just some of the stuff you can see beforehand and what it's going to look like here in a few months after we sheetrock and start putting in cabinets and whatnot. So we have all our electrical plumbing in place. Just really starting to, we got our fridge there. But just starting to take shape, and you can feel the space a lot more now that we're framed up. Here on this back porch, you can see nice, oversized. Trying to take advantage of that view out here once we get some of these trees cleared out, cleaned up. Be a nice view off the back. But you'll see here we have solid timber. So a lot of times you can frame these out with 2x4s and then wrap them with cedar, but we like to go with solid pieces where we can. So that post is solid timber, and then running across is solid timber as well. So all ties in nice and strong looking. You don't have to worry about matching up the edges or anything warping like that. So nice solid pieces. This client decided to go with a darker stain, so that's what we went with. So flows with the soffit and fascia a little bit better, and then when we get our stucco color on, it'll all kind of blend together. So something we just go over with all our clients, discussing colors, samples, all the fun stuff. And then start bringing it to life. Up top, you'll see we have our cans in. That's part of our blue box walk. So you can see where your lights are going, where you have your fixtures before we start running wire in case you want to move anything. But this ceiling's all going to be tongue and groove stained, so it'll look real nice. Again, lath paper starting to go up, so that stucco process will start here pretty soon. Here we have an outdoor grill kitchen area just framed up now. So that's going to be masonry, so we'll finish that out as we progress on the exterior. But you have your gas stub out for a grill, you got your water lines, your drain lines, and then your electric. So everything just planned out in place, so then we can start building, and you can see what it looks like here in a few months. All right, here in the master bedroom, as you can see, nice tall ceilings. We have some more of those ceiling treatments, really unique. Got a step down ceiling with some beam and design here in the center. So that's what that's framed out for. Definitely be cool to check out if you want to subscribe and see how that looks. And then we have our cans placed so that they're nice and symmetrical in the space. Everything flows real well. Big windows in here with these tall ceilings. We have our electric fireplace here, another fireplace. Again, went over all details at our framing walk with clients. So place it where they want, and then have our electrical sources there. Something you want to plan out, make sure you have, depending on your fireplace, whether it's electric, gas, wood burning, all that needs to be planned out, adjusted for where needed. Here, the master bedroom, bathroom, we're all coming together, nice cathedral ceiling there running across. We have a standalone shower and a tub. So just starting with the stuff you can see what it looks like now and how it all comes together here in a few months. Here in the master bath, we have our standalone shower. We have a half wall here. It's going to be glass coming around and then a full glass door. We have our shower valves in place. Again, that's something we go over with the homeowner during our frame walk, where they want their valves to turn on and off their water, how high they want their shower heads, just all of it. So it comes together, meets their expectations, functional, all that. And then we have our tub that's going to go here, our drains in the slab, and then we have our water coming from the wall. Our fixture will be mounted there. So we'll all come together real nice, especially with these windows, nice tall ceiling, real custom look. Here we are in the entry foyer, nice tall ceiling. Again, ceiling features. Gonna have a chandelier coming down. Have this furred out here. This is actually art niche, so that's what that space is for. You'll notice our header going into the living room is nice and high, just gives it that real grand approach, look, feel as you walk in. Then we have a den here, kind of just a man area. Homeowner's actually going to use it kind of for a cigar room, so we'll have an exhaust put in here, going to the exterior, and then another electric fireplace. So this house actually has 3 electric fireplaces, but just be a nice custom entryway into the home that the homeowner really had a concept for, that we were able to help design and continue to bring to life. Here on the secondary side of the house, we have 3 additional bathrooms. 3 additional bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. So obviously nice and comfortable space. Have your long hallway here going into a bathroom, and then you have your bedrooms off to the side. Our HVAC units. This house has 2 HVAC units. Both of them are up here in the same place. We're going to have our attic pulled down here, but like to put those in the same location. That way you can service them in the same spot. They are going to have media filters, so you change them at the unit. So nice and comfortable to do them all in the same spot. Plenty of room to maneuver around there. We have decking down, and then all of our ductwork throughout the house. One thing at this stage, you want to make sure you're walking, make sure all your registers are in place, you have enough return air, and everything's sufficient to be comfortable in the home. All right, you see we started or in the process of installing our windows. From the inside here, you can see this black paper. This is moist stop, so this goes in at the base, the sill of your window before they're installed. Make sure your corners are nice and tight, but that prevents this base plate from getting moisture long term. So something you always want to make sure you have in place, and then we can see what the install looks like on the outside of the window. But started our window install, so that's kind of what that looks like. All this will get returned with sheetrock. All of our non-operable windows, we do four-side sheetrock. Windows that open, we do a solid top. So just something that you can look at as the process continues. Again, we have our boxes placed for electrical. We like to set those so homeowner can see where all their outlets are, get a feel for the space. In this space, we have a pocket door going into this bathroom. So that's what this frame is. Looks a little bit different than the rest of the framing, but just something to keep in mind. Usually can't, or you don't want to hang anything on this as far as shelves. When sheetrock's in, you put screws in here, the door is going to scratch them. So that's what a pocket door frame looks like. Obviously, a door open up here, slide back into the wall, but just part of the process. All right, here we are, utility room, second entrance of the home, kind of a neighbor door here. A lot of people like to call it, but come in here. That's a temporary door we have in place, front door. And this door, the 2 feature doors are temporary, so those will be custom pieces we'll put in later. But again, we have a place here for a refrigerator. We have our laundry space here. You'll notice this is dropped a little bit. We'll fill that in, give it a nice slope, so that way if the washer ever overflows or anything, you're not getting flooded everywhere. We do have a floor outlet there in place, floor drain, sorry, if they'd like to take advantage of that. But just some of the behind the wall, what it looks like on your utility space. You got your water lines, hot, cold. You have your drain. You got to make sure you have electric source sufficient for what appliance you're planning to be on there. If you have a gas unit, you're going to need a gas line. This homeowner does not. So just some of the things you need to think about. And this is going to be a sink here, but be a nice space, flow together. And obviously our dryer vent recessed into the wall. You want to recess these so you're not sticking out trying to butt in the vent and it's sticking out off the wall. So it's a nice space, recessed, take advantage of the whole area. On this side under the stairs, you can see we opened up this space for the homeowner so they can take advantage of the the storage underneath that otherwise would have been dead space. So just some of the stuff you got to think about as the process goes, and we're happy to walk with our homeowners in the process and make sure all the expectations are aligned and moving in the right direction. All right, here in the garage, you'll see a nice big open space, 3-car garage with extra room on both sides. So nice open, kept it as open as possible. We get all of our framing laid out, engineered to design. So you'll see large beams here. We have glue lambs going across, LVLs, and obviously large LVLs over our big double door header. Make sure everything's nice and solid. Here we have a working area of the home. We have our water softener stub out, and then where our water heaters are going to go, we have our gas line there. So that's what that area is. That niche there was carved out for a lot of working components. We're going to come across. You'll see our AC lines run out to this side of the house, so our condensers will be over there. Our gas stub out's in the wall, so our propane tank will be buried on the other side. And then above us is actually a living area, or a bonus room. So this will all be insulated, so up top is nice and tight and comfortable. Here we have our sliders, our nice big glass sliders that are going to be installed. This one's our 6-foot slider that's going to go upstairs. Nice, both sliders 8-foot header, so a lot of glass area, take advantage of those views, but we can go upstairs, take a look at that view also. But behind it is that big 12-foot slider that'll go in the living room. But this is kind of where they're at now, and then obviously we'll get them installed and go from there. You'll see some of these joist hangers are starting to go in. We'll go through the house, make sure all hangers are in when we do our framing punch. But that's what those silver things are up against the beam. Those are joist hangers, so everything's nice and tight. And you notice we talked about outside our solid timber beams going across that porch. We have it coming all the way across and sitting on these studs. So always want to fill underneath with studs when we're sitting on beams, so everything's nice and solid. But just some of the stuff we check as we go, make sure everything's lined up with expectations and standards we like to build with. All right, here we are outside. Stages on this house right now, like we talked about, we're currently roughing in. We got our framing 1 done, so mechanicals are going in, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and then we'll run some data after that. But once that's all done, we'll get our FEMP inspection, which is framing, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, punch everything that needs to be addressed, continue on the outside. We'll run our lath paper, finish with window install, and then be good to go after all of our inspections are done. We will move on to insulation and sheetrock after that. So next video, we'll probably have walls up. We'll start looking at cabinets and starting to make the house look pretty. So follow along, subscribe so you can see it come to life.